Joining us now is Okpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Oji.
Good morning, Dr. Abati. How are you?
Good morning, I'm good.
Good morning,
Good morning.
Tundu.
How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
Great, thanks.
Good morning, Rufai. How are you?
Good morning, Oji. How are you?
I'm doing excellent, thank you. Well, good morning to you, viewers. Here are some of the highlights of what's trending across the globe. First, in the US, as dust of the just concluded Golden Globe ceremony settles, virtual carpet pictures are making the rounds, and actress Viola Davis wearing an Ankara print dress tops the trend, as she's touted to be the latest to join Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala's Ankara army. And social media reacts as photos of WTO boss wearing her signature Ankara garment on her first day as Director General in Geneva makes the rounds. Then, reactions in France as the nation's former president, Nicolas Sarkozy, is sentenced to 3 years in jail for corruption. And the fiancé of slain journalist Jamal Khashoggi has called for Saudi Arabia's Prince bin Salman to be punished for his involvement in the killing of her fiancé. And finally, a clip of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's interview with Oprah Winfrey has been released, and TV host Piers Morgan compares both to Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un.
They only want positive media coverage.
Well,
and if you
it's not unreasonable that they'd like some positivity.
Oh, Vladimir Putin, Kim Jong-un, they want only positive media coverage, don't they?
What, you're comparing them to international dictators?
I just think, honestly, it can't just be me that sees Prince Harry on top of a Hollywood... And by the way, great scoop for James Corden. For Prince Harry, does he get any more embarrassing than this? Seriously. Than being on an open-top bus in Hollywood. After you banged on about privacy for years on end.
You don't understand. It's not that they want to be completely 100% private.
They only want good publicity. Of course they do.
That they don't want the toxic negativity that they felt that they had.
I think Piers Morgan has done the worst by this time. I mean, calling the interview an embarrassment, I think it's a stretch. I mean, these couple, they have said that they are stepping back, you know, as senior members of the royal family. They do want privacy, but on their own terms, as we have seen. I mean, the interview, though, I don't know if it is the right time. I mean, they could have done the interview a little bit later, but I think that they could do whatever they want. I think Piers Morgan is just too extra to do.
I don't really understand Piers Morgan's obsession with this couple. Yes. He absolutely cannot stand them. And it's really quite mean-spirited. But I do agree that with the word embarrassing. Now, the interview has not... We haven't heard the interview. Yeah. So I prefer to call it potentially embarrassing. It would be embarrassing if they throw the institution under the bus, and they would do well not to do that. Yeah. But the reason why he's preempting it and saying it's going to be embarrassing is not so far-fetched, because from their body language, as we like to call this in the Buhari era, from the previous statements that have been released, especially the last one, that shady service is universal, they're quite petulant and churlish in their public statements with regards to them stepping back, losing their official titles. There's a lack of grace in those statements, which is why he's assuming, and not without cause or foundation, that the interview is going to be an attack on the monarchy. But why would they do that? They should not do that, because when Meghan Markle, she was a successful actress before she became the Duchess of Sussex, but even as successful as she was in her TV show, Oprah Winfrey never interviewed her. Prince Harry served 2 military tours, I believe. Right. Successful soldier. Oprah Winfrey would never interview him if he was not Harry Wales or Harry Mountbatten Windsor, whatever. You know, he was called Harry Wales in the army, but the official surname is Mountbatten Windsor. It's because he's Prince Harry, the Prince of the Realm. So this institution has been built over thousands of years. Sacrifices have been made. They even had to change their surname to survive. They have done all kinds of things to maintain this institution. And it's really never good form to throw your family and their means of livelihood under the bus, and also make a dent in the British tourist industry as well. So what they're dealing with is really a lot bigger than they might be thinking.
I think you're right by saying that what they're dealing with, because there's more to it. I mean, if I agree with you, do not ever throw your family under the bus, but there are so many issues that are surrounding their decision.
I didn't say you shouldn't throw your family under the bus. You can. If your family offends you, go right ahead. But my issue is not you can't attack their livelihood, though. You can make the criticisms. It's his life. It's his choice to testify about the life he's had, the challenges that he's had, but not to attack the institution such that you demarket the institution, the very institution that gives you the relevance that you enjoy. Otherwise, why would Oprah speak to you? Why would anybody care? It's because you're associated with that family. Right. So there has to be some kind of balance while telling your truth.
Dr. Abati, quick comment.
Well, first, I share the view that Piers Morgan of ITV, Good Morning Britain, is obsessed with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Every week he finds an opportunity to talk about them. Initially it was a flat that he created for them in his head. Now that flat has been expanded into a maisonette. I wouldn't be surprised if very soon Piers Morgan builds a castle in his head for this couple. But of course he needs to be reminded that they have the right to live their lives the way they deem fit or best, and that again they are also entitled to their own choices because he's become like an agony uncle trying to dictate how they should live their lives.
Agony uncle.
Now, one of the points he has made is that they are looking for positive media, and he has compared the couple to Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un. His point is that these are dictators. You will recall that this couple had issues with the British media establishment. They even went to court and they got judgment in defense of their privacy. And in an article that Piers wrote a few weeks ago, he was making the point that, look, now Harry and Meghan, when they want to use the media, they use the media for their own selfish purposes. But they will go behind and also complain about the same media, invading their privacy. He thinks that they are manipulative. He thinks that they are opportunistic, but in any case, I mean, why should that be an obsession for him? That is the question. But if you know Piers Morgan very well, he cannot be restrained. He will move from television now and write a newspaper column also about it. But he must realize that this couple, you should leave them alone and focus on other issues of interest.
You know that Prince Harry has constantly blamed the media harassment for his mother's death. Well, let's take a quick look at the interview. Here's a clip where Harry says his biggest fear was history repeating itself.
I'm just really relieved and happy to be sitting here talking to you with my wife by my side, because I can't begin to imagine what it must have been like for her going through this process by herself all those years ago, because it has been unbelievably tough for the two of us, but at least we had each other.
Rafai, are the couple well within their rights to share their story with Oprah Winfrey?
Really exciting. So for those that don't know Piers Morgan is clickbait. You know what clickbait is? People will do something sensational just to make you see them. There are many Nigerian sites that do that. That's what Piers Morgan does. Let's not forget, he was editor of a tabloid. And what does an editor of a tabloid know? Write cheeky stories. I think he worked in the Mirror or something, one of these tabloids. He was editor of tabloid at 27. Get cheeky stories, get cheeky attention. Sometimes he gets into trouble, just like he did in America when he tried fighting the gun lobby in America, and he got sacked from CNN because of that. Or sometimes he can run riot with it on his own turf, like he's doing with Good Morning Britain now, and he's been getting it on. You can see the way he was interviewing everybody during coronavirus and badgering them, not even interviewing them, imposing his thoughts on them to be able to get television views. And it works for Piers Morgan. So if you don't know Piers Morgan, you fall into it. He doesn't really mean what he said, that they are like Putin and Kim Jong-un. Piers Morgan will sit down with the same people to do drinks with them tomorrow if they say they want to do drinks with him. That's what Piers Morgan. He's just getting television views. I don't take Piers Morgan seriously. Anybody that does, do it at your own peril. Well, I don't think they will do that. I don't think the royal family will bash the institution, Tundu. And this is the reason why I said so. I saw the session Harry had with James Corden yesterday. It was lovely. It was beautiful. And he said things of high esteem about the royal family. In fact, he even said how they still have a very wonderful relationship with the grandmother, that's the Queen. And the Queen bought Archie a waffle maker for Christmas. And they still do Zoom time a lot with Archie, with the Duke of Edinburgh. So they have that very cordial relationship. And Harry knows by the antecedents, because anything he hears today is because he's a Mountbatten or let me use the word, the name they changed, he's a Saksakabagotha. That's who he is. Any popularity he gets today, anybody wants to talk to him, is because he's from the royal family. He's an actual prince. That's why they want to talk to him.
I don't understand. So, I don't think they'll do anything Tundun. I never said they would. I said potential.
Okay, potential. So I mean, I'm just trying to bring down that fears, because I saw what he had with James Corden. The same session he had with James Corden that Piers Morgan was talking about in a very vile form was a very sweet thing. They just had a great time, and he showed the royal family in a great way. And in fact, he said in that interview he had with James Corden that I will always serve the institution. I'm part of the institution. You know, I'm away from them, but doesn't mean I'm away in the spirit. My life is a life of service. And he said great things. And he finally went to the house where they had the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air shot. And, you know, they went to the house and he went to the toilet and he came out. So it was a great session. So I don't think, you know, anything of such will happen.
Okay.
But most importantly, let's just leave those people alone. Let's let them be, really.
I think we should add a caveat.
They're the ones who go on Okpe. They're the ones who go on James Corden. I have no idea what you mean by leave them alone.
I will not join in the characterization of Piers Morgan. I think he's a brilliant journalist, and I think he's one of the best breakfast television anchors that they have in Britain today. And he has shown a lot of resourcefulness.
I know, he's one of your favorites.
Both in terms of his writings and also in terms of the scope and richness of his career. And he's not the only one, by the way, that is criticizing the couple, Harry and Meghan in this instance. There are persons who have been saying, why are they granting interviews at a time, you know, when the grandfather
That's what I was saying. I think
in
the
hospital,
time is not right.
I had done that before.
And he has been moved to a specialist.
I don't think that's their fault, though.
Well, I mean, but there are ordinary people in Britain who have expressed that concern. So there are other persons who are critical, but because Piers Morgan has the platform, then it is amplified.
No, but he compared them to dictators.
Yes, well, I explained that context in terms of their relationship with the media. Yeah. And then in any case, he's also saying that they are hypocritical. Right. And he was, referring to the interview with James Corden, the open bus tour, of Los Angeles and all of that. But that's his view. It doesn't mean that he's in a position to dictate to Harry or Meghan.
Right. I guess before we take our next story, we're going to go on a quick break. And when we come back, What's Trending on the Morning Show will continue. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Morning Show. We're still on What's Trending. We'll take our next story. On Monday, presidential campaign posters of the governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, made the rounds on social media. This follows a meeting the governor had on Sunday with former President Olusegun Obasanjo. Although the governor has not officially declared that he will be running for president, he has, however, said that he's gotten support from many youth groups for him to run in 2023. In December last year, lawmakers in Kogi State endorsed the governor for the highest office in the country, while many users have shared mixed reactions, with some saying the governor is unfit to run. Let's take a tweet from personal development coach Dr. Dikbo Awojide, who wrote, "I know this Yahaya Bello presidency thing is a huge joke because God's plan for Nigeria is not eternal punishment." I mean, that tweet garnered a lot of reactions. But the fact that people are saying that he's unfit to run is a big issue for the governor at this point. I mean, he's young and he's, gotten into a lot of controversy. Only last week we talked about the fact that he's one person or one leader who has refused to wear a face mask in public.
Well, we all talk about a young person in political office, generational change and what have you, but this is one of those things where you have to be careful and specific about what you wish for. It's not about having a young person, it's about having a competent person. Right. We need a lot of help in this country. We all know that the state that we're in, and we certainly cannot afford to make a mistake in 2023. Now, with regarding this particular prospective candidate, prospective because he hasn't officially flagged off a campaign or anything like that, he has never really fully addressed or been held accountable for the appalling violence in 2019, the Kogi elections. You'll recall helicopter shooting, tear gas at people, the harassment of candidates. We all know, we all say about Nigeria that we have a short memory, but 2019 was just 2 years ago. We all remember that very clearly. And also his very antagonistic attitude towards the coronavirus pandemic, as if by pretending it doesn't exist, it will magically go away. That's not quite how it works. So these two aspects of what he has shown publicly do not necessarily recommend him for the highest office in the land. So he'll have a heck of a lot of work to do to convince people at this point.
I'll be more correct. I always say that to Tundu now. I love that. Dr. Abati, your comment.
Well, I think under the Constitution of Nigeria and the other ancillary laws, in a democracy, anybody can aspire to be anything. So it is perfectly within the rights of Yahaya Bello, who happens to be the youngest governor in Nigeria, to aspire to be president of Nigeria. You cannot take that away from him. The question, however, is whether he's been delusional and whether in terms of his records, he's a deserving person, and whether indeed he will be able to get nominated and eventually have a platform on which he can run. Now, he says, or his supporters claim, his Commissioner of Information, Kingsley Famwo, says that he's responding to popular requests, and that indeed in December last year, the Kogi State House of Assembly had a resolution that he should run for president. I don't know how that is a major assignment for a State House of Assembly, except the people there are just sycophants who do not know what their assignment is. And then we are also told that some non-governmental organizations, groups of youths, have also endorsed Yahaya Bello, the governor of Kogi State. Well, I mean, if it comes to the vote, you can be sure I will not vote for him. Because in terms of his performance so far as the governor of Kogi State, I do not think that the argument is about age. The argument is about capacity. And with the way he has conducted himself with regard to public health, particularly the COVID-19 pandemic, he has not shown enough capacity or enough intelligence, in my estimation. And I think that we should get to a point here in Nigeria whereby we pay close attention to the leadership recruitment process. We do not just vote for people because they have ambition. We have to look for the best. You know, our first 11 should be the ones that should be encouraged. I will advise Governor Yahaya Bello, yes, he can put up all the posters. The posters have been cited as far away as Port Harcourt, I'm told. And the issue is that, oh, we need a young man, a generational change in 2023. Nigeria is in crisis now. We should not elect as president, you know, a person on the basis of sentiments. Right. But if he has the resources, he's welcome to spend his money and to show excitement. And we are told that he's been going around visiting people, where he has to realize that he has one major assignment, which is to be governor of Kogi State, leaving Lokoja and going to Transcorp Hilton to meet President Obasanjo, or going around the country like smallpox. No, he should sit down and do the work for which he has been elected. It's not campaign time yet. INEC has not yet released a timetable. And as for his visit to President Obasanjo, that some people have been saying is pregnant with meaning. That's how Femi Fani-Kayode described it. Well, I think for 2023, it's not what we should have. It's not some people endorsing people and saying this is the person that will be president. The vote of the people must count. And I think if the vote of Nigerians will count, Yahaya Bello doesn't look to me like a candidate for the presidency of Nigeria.
Well said, Dr. Abati.
That's my opinion.
All right. Good opinion. We'll take our final story. Photos of a slain lion that went on a rampage, killing 4 members of a community in Cameroon, close to the border with Nigeria, had made the rounds on social media. Well, according to reports, the lion killed at least 4 persons and injured several others before being killed by local vigilantes. It is unclear if the animal was part of a group that strayed from their enclave in surrounding parks. Reports indicate that the military is worried about the threat wild lions pose to troops in the front line around the local government areas of Borno State. This was horrifying when I saw that lion. First thing I thought was, oh, poor lion. But I mean, can you really blame the community at that point? I mean, it's killed 4 people, and obviously they were scared. But I think that they should have done something better to save that.
Oh, geez, like poor lion. What about the poor victims?
I know.
Can you imagine
but
being mauled?
The picture was horrific.
Well, I didn't look at the picture. As soon as you sent it, delete.
Yes, it was horrific.
I don't do gory. That.
But, you know, it goes to show a lot of things, you know, with security at the zoo, at the parks, or whatever it is that made that lion come. Because usually, lions don't go and attack people. They usually, you know, hunt with their group of lions to kill not people, but animals.
What happened to Mufasa, if I may call him that, if I may name him posthumously, the poor darling?
Yeah.
Probably is to do with climate change.
Yes.
And this is why animals, it happens in India all the time. My favorite animal, elephants, they get killed all the time because they're coming out of their natural habitat, looking for food, trampling on people's farmland, you know, injuring, killing people, so they're killed in turn to stop their rampage. It's so tragic.
Very.
If only man was responsible with our resources, our home, planet Earth, rather than destroying the habitat of these animals, tampering with their feeding patterns, ruining their lives essentially, and forcing them to come out looking for food with tragic consequences for the 4 members of that community and the poor
rest
Mufasa.
of the people that's
so sad.
Injured. Dr. Abati?
Well, very quickly, I mean, the part of it that I'm intrigued about is that, yes, one, the vigilante within the community in that Cameroonian town close to Gamborun-Wala of Nigeria had carried out revenge killing. The lion, we're told, had killed 4 persons. But the fact that I'm disturbed about is that after killing the lion, which would seem to be, you know, some kind of response in terms of revenge, then I thought I saw a picture of the lion being slaughtered and being cut into parts. So what is it? Are they going
That's what I'm talking about.
Are they going to make pepper soup out of the lion? You know, is there no limit to the kind of thing that our people will eat? They will call it bushmeat, and then they will eat it, and I don't know. But I wonder, you know, about the kind of things that people eat in Africa.
Yeah, it was quite disturbing to see. Well, unfortunately, this is all I have for you guys on What's Trending today. I will see you tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Yes, we missed Rufai. He just, his audio didn't work.